This is the last day of my little friend being a stallion. He's now 5 years old, and he had quite a life. He had a bad start in life, and he came to us when he was almost 1 year. Why do I castrate him now? Because I wanted to let him grow older, become more mature, and to let him develop his body, his skills. If you knew the story of this little guy, I think it's a beautiful story, because he showed me how horses live and what they need. His big friend, who is pretty dirty now, and some people will say, "Your horse is very dirty." Yes, my horse is very dirty. My horse has a life. He just has to be a horse. I don't care if he's dirty, yes or no, because we're not going to show or anything, and that's the consequence of having a white horse. Or normally a white horse. His friend is very kind to him. He takes care of the little guy, and he's watching this little guy. He's protecting him. But when this little guy, who's now 5 years old, is doing rough games, which he likes to do, and he bites this big papa in his head, this big white stallion, who was actually not a stallion anymore, but who was also castrated when he was 11 years old, takes it. His head is full of scars, small scars, but also painful scars, because of this little guy who is sometimes overdoing. He's not being corrected. And that's something that is very important for horses. They need correction, they need discipline, they need exercise, and at the end they need love. That's something I didn't make up myself. It's something of Mr. Cesar Milan, who is a very good person with dogs and who explains instinct pretty well. You know, it goes the same for horses. People, especially the women nowadays, are very sentimental about horses. They see horses like dolls, like puppets, like they are for our benefit. And they are for our benefit, of course. I mean, I will agree on that. But you have to be careful what you do with a horse. You have to take your responsibility. Many horses who have a very soft character are able to adapt very well. You will not get any problems. But perhaps if you've seen the movies before, of this winter, last winter, you might have seen that I was working, or actually having a winter break with a horse that was afraid of people. Well, it's actually a soft expression. This horse was terrified of people. His owner disagreed on what I said about this horse. I said, you cannot ride this horse. It would be abuse of this horse. His owner disagreed, and he refused to pay for the food of this horse, and he was not taking any responsibility of this horse. And even worse, he didn't believe what I said. And even when I told him it wasn't about me, it was about his horse, he started to smile in a way that you can notice, well, you don't respect anything. I told you how many years I've been working in prison with people, and when I became a chief, I noticed that you have bad people on both sides of the door. We say we have a good side and a bad side on the door, and the good side is where the staff is working, and the bad side is the convicts. But to be true, there are also bad people at the good side of the door. What are bad people? Bad people are people who try to enrich themselves. That's something you will not find me doing, because I don't need it. I promised horses a long time ago that I would explain their behavior and that I would try to help them. And helping somebody else is only possible if you are able to tell the truth. The grey horse that's been with us for 8 months has death hanging over his head. The woman who bought him who saved him, or now is telling around that she has saved this horse, will not like him in a while. He's now there for, I guess, 1 month, almost 2 months. And they are training this horse on the basic things that went wrong. But I know already that she will she will be tired of him. She wants a riding horse, and she doesn't want a horse that is terrified for people. This horse is not afraid, he's terrified. And that's something I just want to tell the rest of the world, the horse world, this ignorance of people. When you ignore the problems and you don't listen at all to what anybody has to say, you will kill your horse. And I know that many horses are being killed because of that. And I think it's sad. It is not necessary to do so if you just are able to listen. And I can get really upset about this. I mean, I promised this horse I will help you, and I fought for him. And I asked many people to help me, to think with me. Perhaps somebody else said, well, you could try this or that, because I have quite a lot of skills and a lot of things I know of. But perhaps somebody else could say, well, you should try this or that. And many people said, well, I could do better. And that upset me, because that means that somebody has no respect. And respect exactly is the word that horses need. You can change him or her for a part, but not all. It's like the little guy, and I will zoom in on his being male still for the last day. I can't change him. I can only make sure that he has a well-developed body, like he has now, and that he can be a good friend for this white boy. Let's try to zoom on his face, and you will see above his eyes how many marks he has. So why am I castrating this little guy? Not because of me, but because of the way he is being together with the other horse. For the guy who's been with us, it will only take some time. And somebody informed me that he wasn't doing well. And I have to admit, and people say, get rid of it. Well, why shouldn't I get upset about this selfishness and the stupidity of human beings, and especially women? I know better. I know what I'm doing. I will fix it in a few days. This horse, this grey horse, not the white one we're looking at now, was doing this behavior for 5 years now. So some silly woman thinks I will fix it in 2 days or 3 days or perhaps 2 weeks. You won't fix it. It's just waiting for the time, for the moment that somebody will tell me he's dead. And then I can only say, lady, you got what you want. You wanted him dead. It's your responsibility. I tried to help. I gave you advice, but you didn't want to listen. And that's exactly what people don't do with their horses. Not everybody wants to listen to the horses.